Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars and welcome to another classic film review. Today I'm here to review the 1997 classic comedy film Mousehunt, a film that is directed by Gore Verbinski, who went on to direct the Pirates of the Caribbean films, and it stars Nathan Lane and Lee Evans as the Smuntz brothers, Ernie and Lars. Now this is a film that I used to watch all the time when my son was young. It's one of those films that came out in the 90s that was almost in the same vein as Home Alone. By that I mean like the cartoon violence, like the Home Alone, Baby's Day Out, Mousehunt. They all had that like cartoon violence element to it, and in my opinion Mousehunt is the best of the bunch. It's got a very unique style and look about it. And the performances by Nathan Lane and Lee Evans are absolutely top notch, and this film is completely hilarious. And that's it. It focuses, if you haven't seen this film, it focuses on Nathan Lane and Lee Evans' characters. They are two brothers, Ernie and Lars Smuntz, and they have just lost their father at the beginning of the film. Now their father owned and ran a string factory. Now Nathan Lane's character Ernie has kind of abandoned his father's string factory and empire, and he's gone on to become a successful chef. However, Lee Evans' character Lars still kind of idolises his father and still wants to be part of the family business, and he wants to take over the factory when now his father's passed. But they also discover upon their father's passing that they are left in their father's will a house that they didn't even know existed, and it turns out when they go to this house it's very dilapidated and run down, and they soon discover that this house is actually a very valuable house. It's part of a this designer's lost house sort of thing. It's one of his lost houses, and it's very valuable. So they decide they're gonna do this house up and sell it on. However, there is a mouse in the works. There is a little mouse in this house that has lived there, and it is not happy to share this house with these two, mainly because they are causing chaos in regards to what they're doing to the house. And when they discover that there's a mouse in this house, Nathan Lane and Lee Evans, they decide they've got to try and get rid of it in more and more unique and escalating ways, and that is essentially the movie here. You've got these two guys who become obsessed with trying to kill this mouse, and every single turn this mouse keeps outsmarting them in more and more hilarious ways. And so they've got to try and get this house done up and at the same time deal with this mouse, but every time they take one step forward they take 3 steps back, because in their attempts at trying to take out this mouse they end up almost destroying the house at every turn. They do things like hire the most savage cat you've ever seen in your life, which is hilarious. They hire Christopher Walken, who makes a cameo as like an exterminator, to take out this mouse. That doesn't go well. They try vacuuming it through the walls, they try shooting at it, they try exploding things. Everything they try, this mouse outsmarts them, and that is the comedy of this film. So that if you've never seen Mousehunt, that's essentially what it's about. It ain't to be taken seriously, it's just damn funny. Now, like I say, I watched this all the time when my son was young, and what reminded me of this film again was my son, who is now 13, has just discovered Lee Evans as a stand-up comedian. He's got some of it, I've let him watch some of his DVDs and things like that, and he thinks it's hilarious. And when I reminded him of this film, he didn't remember that Lee Evans was in it. He barely even remembered the film, because he was probably about 5 when we watched this, and he used to just giggle at all the comedy violence and stuff. So when I reminded him and I showed him some clips of Lee Evans in it, he was really taken aback, my son, and it really reminded me how good this film is when I rewatched it. So I thought I have to do a classic film review for it, because it so deserves it. Like I say, all these movies that came out after Home Alone, all these like, you know, of the same ilk, all these comedy violence type things, cartoon violence, for me this is the best one. It really is. And if you watch it, it's got very unique style to it. It feels very gothic, very dark, but the chemistry between Nathan Lane and Lee Evans is amongst the finest you'll ever see on screen. Now, Nathan Lane, I think, is a supremely talented comedy actor. If you don't believe me, just watch The Birdcage with Robin Williams. He is staggeringly funny in that film, as he is in this one. And the comedy stylings of him and Lee Evans together is absolute pure comedy gold, and throughout this film they elevate it. I think with lesser performances this film would not have been as good, but they completely devote themselves to this role, as does most other people who take part in it as well. Christopher Walken, he's fantastic in the cameo in this film. He's not in it that long, but he's great. And the scene at the end when they try and auction off the house and the chaos that ensues is just fantastic. So this film never ceases to bore. It keeps you entertained with more and more inventive ways for this mouse to get the upper hand on these two buffoons, if you like. And it just constantly surprises and entertains this film, and I strongly recommend you watch it if you've never seen it. And yeah, for me, the look of it, the feel of it is very, very unique, and I don't think this film gets enough attention, gets the respect that it deserves. Almost, I could almost argue this could have been a misunderstood movie review, because not a lot of people talk about it. But for me, I'm giving it 8.5 out of 10 because it's definitely a classic, maybe as well as a misunderstood movie. So 8.5 out of 10 for me. Really, really great classic film. One I suggest you check out if you've never seen it, and it will remind you what a great comedy pairing Nathan Lane and Lee Evans made in this film. So I hope you enjoyed this classic film review. If you did, please click that like button, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, and of course thank you very much for watching.